Hey, what's going on, man? Brand new episode of the Foul Pole to Foul Pole podcast, brought to you by our friends over at the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League. If you haven't had a chance to check them out yet, man, check it out. It's CPCL.com. Brand new summer softball league coming to the Carolinas during the months of June and July. Going to have incoming college freshmen looking to get their feet wet in the college game. You've got kids in the transfer portal looking for a new home. Then you've got other ones that are just looking to stay sharp. There's a lot going on. Go check it out, CPatriotCL.com. You can register, or fans, you can stay up to date with all the information. This episode is brought to you by our friends over at the Nexus Mount. Our turnkey kits provide a secure and hassle-free way to attach multiple devices to any fence, net, or tripod. Crafted from lightweight aluminum with a powder-coated finish, our mounts are built to last. But that's not all. Our innovative design features a removable shade cover to protect your devices from direct sunlight during your outdoor streaming events, which will minimize the risk of overheating. Don't settle for anything less than perfection. Unleash the full potential of your streaming experience with the Nexus Mount. Visit us today at thenexusmount.com and elevate your game. All right, man. Today is March 25th. It's a Monday. Happy Monday to everyone. Got a special episode today. We're going to be bringing in my good buddy Wayne Richey from the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League. I'm going to talk to him a little bit about what's been going on, get some of the details, and sort of pick his brain a little bit about what's been going on in the college game and sort of the transition that we're seeing in popularity as the game is starting to grow more and more in the professional realm. So got my buddy coming on today. We're also going to talk a little bit about legacy as it pertains to coaches and players and sort of just people that have been around the game a little bit that you may not know too much about, but are doing a lot of things behind the scenes. So really interesting stuff. We're going to jump right into it. Wayne, man, I appreciate you joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I really appreciate all the support that Foul Pole to Foul Pole has been given to the CPCL in the recent weeks and months since we last talked. Everything's been going really well. We have continued to sign players. You know, as you look at our social media, we just posted 4 additional new players into the league, welcomed them in the past 7 to 10 days. Our first pitcher came in, had some more infield, outfield players come in as well. So we're moving right along, steaming along. I actually just had a meeting with the president of the American Collegiate League, Brian Moore, this past weekend. He and I were sitting down talking about the path forward with the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League, and we talked even about some of the other affiliates that are out there as well. But no, we're looking good. We fully expect kind of a big push as we get into April and May, as the girls start to kind of figure out what they're going to do for the summer. So we expect to add a number of more girls as we move forward, especially as the Patriarch Florida Gulf Coast League closes its doors, because its numbers are already well up into the 10-team space.
Yeah. Talk about how easy it is for these athletes to register and to get the information that they need, and how easy it is for them to reach out to you and talk to you and find out more.
So one of the great things is that every girl that we have signed so far that is committed to play in the league, I've spoke to personally, whether over email, phone, text. We've talked through that. As a matter of fact, the pitcher out of Oklahoma, junior college, playing in Missouri, actually had a conversation with her and her parents while they were on spring break. Mm-hmm. So they were, asking some questions. So we sat down, everybody was there, and we had a FaceTime call, and we talked through all the questions that we had. Registration, super simple. You go to our website, CPatriotCL.com, click on the registration button there. That immediately generates a form to us. I normally answer most of those within, to be honest, 4 to 6 hours, no later than 24 hours later. You're getting an email directly from me as the president, providing additional instructions to complete your registration, and then pay the deposit for our league, and then moving forward, putting you in your team there. But super simple. And again, I've had, a number of players. We've kind of gone back and forth. They've had questions. Hey, what's the housing like? Hey, where am I going to stay?
Mhm.
What are the other opportunities that we have when we talk about the camps and clinics? So they've got some opportunity to earn some cash during the summer as well, participating in some camps and clinics for the local youth here in the Fayetteville surrounding areas here. So, I mean, it's a constant talk. Actually, as a matter of fact, we have one girl from Tegan Riley out of Lynn College down in Florida. Matter of fact, her birthday was just last week. We made sure that we did something up on social media for her, push that out across the board because we want them to know that this is a personal piece, that we are personally invested in each one of these girls as they come in to play with us.
Yeah. Tell me who can sign up and who can play. I know there's a lot of interest in it, and it's growing. So I'm sure there's some girls that want to know if they can even get in.
Yeah, so it is open across the board to freshmen through juniors, and even seniors that have a fifth year. And I'm going to talk about something with the seniors that are leaving school. Their eligibility is up here in just a second. But the big, awesome portion of our affiliate that's unlike the rest of the affiliates out there is we have an incoming freshman program. So if you've signed a national letter of intent to play in college, you can spend your summer playing summer ball with us and these college girls. Work out with them daily, practice with them, develop with them, play against them, and kind of get a taste early on of like, okay, this is what college is going to be like. These are the type of competitors that I'm going to compete against. These are the type of athletes that I'm going to play alongside, which is really cool. And then lastly, because the pro circuit is starting to pick up pace here as well, we're opening it up to seniors because we're going to have 4 directors of scouting for each of the professional teams that are in the league with the Florida Vibe. So every one of those directors of scouting. So if you are looking for an opportunity to possibly play professional ball, this is a great opportunity to spend last summer after your senior year with us, get recognized by some of those scouts, and they'll be varying times of when they'll be up here taking a look at what the talent level is here to look to recruit, to put on and draft and sign for their pro team.
Oh man, that's huge. I know with the popularity of softball, where it kind of hits ahead, maybe at the collegiate level. Now the pro aspect is there, whether we're talking Athletes Unlimited or we're talking about the professional league. There's opportunities now, and these athletes need that opportunity to kind of showcase their skills and get looked at. I mean, we kind of compare everything to the NFL combine. There's not a whole lot we talk about professional basketball and professional baseball as far as a combine. So you have to take up these opportunities and be able to showcase yourself. It's almost like getting back to when you were looking for that school, looking for that right fit to, showcase your abilities in these summer leagues. Well, now there's a summer league that is for you, that senior that is looking for that opportunity. How much fun is this for you to talk to these athletes and say, "Hey, look, we have an opportunity for you to do this. You're a senior now. I know your collegiate career is over with, but there is still a chance that you can continue to play and play professionally."
That's super exciting to be able to, again, this is what the CPCL is all about, providing opportunity and growth of the game. And that's just one additional way that we're doing that for the ladies in the sport of softball. But it's exciting to say, hey, you want to come out and play in our 25 game season. There's going to be directors of scouting, that are here that, could place you or start having the conversation with you to pick you up for that professional team out there. So it is awesome to provide those opportunities to these ladies across the board. To take their game to the next level, kind of like you said, as they were coming out of high school, looking for that right fit into college. Now, again, they have the opportunity because the majority of the professional game and most of the teams are still independent. So they're doing all their recruiting, they're doing all their scouting independently to look at, who's going to be on their roster for 24, 25, 26, so on and so forth.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me into my topic this week is legacy. And these athletes had a legacy in high school. They had a legacy in college. And now they're able to maybe have a legacy playing professionally or and internationally as well. And then you have these coaches too that they had their playing days, but they want to stay in it. Tell me a little bit about the coaches that are going to be involved this summer, and a little bit about the background and kind of where that coaching side is coming from.
Yeah, so we're super excited about our coaches. One I think I spoke about in the last episode.
Mhm.
She's coming out of her fifth year of school. She's going to come right off of the field, right into the coaching box, and again, another great opportunity. Right, she can put on her resume right off the bat. College level coach. That's going to be great. The other portion of that is that we're going to bring in, college coaches. This isn't something where, don't get me wrong, there's a ton of great travel ball coaches out there.
Mhm.
But this, what we're doing is tailored more towards the college level. So we're bringing in, an assistant college coach, a head college coach. Um, we may dip down into the high school level, but the high school coach has to be a proven coach. So they're going to have state titles behind their name. They're going to have tons of history and a tradition of winning within their program. And it's not just about the winning, their win and loss record. It's about understanding who they are and what type of culture and environment that they develop across the board for our coaches, not just the high school coach that we were to bring in or the college coach that we're going to bring in, because that's something too. We want to create a culture and an environment of fun, of loving this game, of developing and getting better, so you can go back to your university and contribute right away, or continue to contribute,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. Or if you're looking for that next spot, you may be in the transfer portal and you're looking for your next home there. So we are that's the type of coaching that we are bringing in there as it pertains to the CPCL.
Yeah. And you got, like we talked about, Ryan Moore. I mean, the pedigree, the leadership, this vision that he has, and the growth of these softball summer leagues. People that are connecting and staying connected. I mean, the college coaches, it's sorority, it's a fraternity, it's this group, and they may not all see the same talent, but they're continuing to grow the game. Can you tell me a little bit about how the just Ryan has sort of spearheaded this and has helped the game grow just over the last couple of years because of the softball summer league?
Yeah, so I think it goes back to its roots. When Ryan started the college summer league down in Florida, it was COVID and nobody was playing softball. The college season was cut short. The high school seasons were cut short, so on and so forth. And he provided an opportunity for softball again. This was the conversation he and I had Saturday night, as a matter of fact. He was able to provide an opportunity, put on a professional, world-class summer league for these ladies, and then came back year two and did it better, and came back year three and did it even better than that. And that name of Florida Gulf Coast is synonymous with greatness right now. That's, you see a ton of girls going down there. That's why their affiliate is already full. Almost. So they're, 95% full at this point. So, that's synonymous. And that's what we're trying to build here in the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League as well, is, we're gonna take our lumps in year one. We absolutely understand that. We're not gonna have 10 teams like the Florida Gulf Coast League is, but every great organization starts somewhere. And we're laying the foundation and the roots right now for 2, 3, 5 years down the road, to have a legacy, to have something to pass off to these ladies as we continue to move forward. Ryan told me on Saturday, he's like, we're going to look back on this 5 years from now. We're going to be like, wow, look at what we have done across, not just here in North Carolina or in Florida, but across the nation. We're going to look back as these affiliate owners and him as the president, and we're just going to, where our jaws will probably drop. as we look at this thing. And really, it's just going to be about growth, growth of the game, opportunities that we're able to provide to these players is going to be magical, to be able to do that. And then the impact. So when you talk about legacy, there's always an impact, right? What is the impact that that organization that's leaving that legacy that's doing? And in 5 years, we're talking about young ladies that are in 8th grade right now, going into their freshman years of college, freshman, sophomore years of college. And those are going to be the ones that are playing in the Carolina Patriot Collegiate League, in the Florida Gulf Coast League, in the Chattanooga League, in the Scenic City League. Those are the girls that, that legacy is now going to follow. The foundation and the roots that we build now, that's the legacy that we leave for them.
Yeah. And it just, man, it helps push this game even further, and everybody that's involved with it. And, I talk about legacy, and that's what I'm going to get into this week. And, thinking about somebody like an Albert Einstein or an Abraham Lincoln or whatever, you don't have to be on that level and have some type of like global impact to leave a legacy. But somebody like Ryan, somebody like yourself that is doing things for the right reason. And this isn't about patting yourself on the back or, beating your chest. This is you saying, hey, you know what? I can have an impact, and I'm not impacting just myself. There's people that will come after me, and this is going to help grow the game in whatever way it grows. It's putting the roots in, like you were saying, and for you to be involved in something like this and to see it and have the growth and just want to be a part of it from the organic side of it. How, hey, I can see what Ryan's done with the Florida Gulf Coast League, and we can take that. We can't run it exactly. We can't do it the exact same way because the geography and kind of what's going on, but we can fit into this mold and make it our own and eventually be that big. What has it done for you just recently over the last few months that now, like, hey, it was a dream, it was a wish, it was something that you were thinking about, but now, I mean, we're on the doorstep. We're talking, we're less than 3 months away from this thing, and it's like having a baby or something. How is this? I mean, how are you able to contain the excitement?
Oh, I can't. I think most of the people around me want me to shut up about it, because all I do is talk about it. But I tell you, the doors that it's opened more than anything. And again, like you just said, it's not about beating your own chest or whatever it may be. And it's how you create opportunities. What do you leave? What's that legacy that's associated with that? Mm-hmm. Just in the youth ball space, the youth travel space. So we have, again, Ryan and I kind of talked about this and wanted to do something associated with youth travel softball. So we created the Vibe Youth program. Mm-hmm. So he's got 2 teams down in Florida. That's a 14 and a 16. We've got a 12U team here in North Carolina now, called the Carolina Vibe. And that right there, is huge, because what that travel team is going to be able to experience being in and around our college players. Right. They now have that opportunity when they're in our indoor facility and they're working out next to, a player that's playing Division II college softball. And my daughter's a catcher and she's a catcher, and my daughter can watch her work and how she goes through her routine, what she does, what are the drills that she does at a very high elite level, to be able to then take her career further. My pitchers at the 12U level, being able to watch and be around college pitchers and have conversations. So it's not the old 42-year-old guy saying, hey, you got to command the zone. You got to be able to work ahead. So then we can look at, changing timing and stuff like that. They're like, get out of here, old man. Let me talk to this player that's doing it right now. And that's what I want. I want that more than anything. The ability to talk to college coaches. As a coach, we all think we're right. We all think we've got the system. We all know that we don't know everything, but we think the majority of what we say is right. But I tell you, it has been awesome to talk to college coaches and just ask some questions, and say, hey, what do you think about this? What are some of the things that you are having to either reteach or teach when these players get to the college level that we can start to institute back at the youth level, and even take some of those lessons from college coaches and implement them into what we're doing in the summer program and say, hey, we're hearing from college coaches, they're looking for this, and this, right? Base running, I hear that more than anything. And then the ability to softball knowledge is the number one thing that every coach that I've talked to, that I've asked the question and said, hey, what are you struggling with the most with your players when they first come to you? Softball knowledge, first thing, right off the bat. They're having to teach the game, in a lot of instances. Again, obviously, talent is there. They can field a ground ball, throw a ball, hit a ball, catch a ball, so on and so forth. But understanding that, when a pitcher throws a ball in the dirt and you have a good hard lead coming off first base and you recognize that ball in the dirt, you're going to second base or you're going to third base, because it's so hard for a catcher, even at an elite level, to block, pop up, throw, and then the second baseman has to catch, make a tag, so on and so forth. Like that's the type of like softball knowledge that they're like, we're having to teach a lot of this stuff, even to the point of where they're talking about 7 innings, right? There's so much travel ball that we play right now. Having a kid play 7 innings is like a unheard of thing. Right. International tiebreaker, like what is that? What's the strategy behind international tiebreaker, kind of stuff. So that has been, again, the excitement piece of that. And like I said, most people around me want me just to be quiet, but I just had a conversation with my coaching staff at the 12U travel ball level. Like, hey, I just talked to this college coach, on Wednesday, and they're saying a lot of the same things that we're saying right now. Hey, we got to teach this. Hey, look, let's start to implement some stuff like this. And that's how, again, opportunity, growth, opportunity, out of growth, opportunity comes, is ultimately how we look at it.
Yeah. And we talked earlier about just the parity that's within the game. And you mentioned at the high school level, and we talk about it at the travel ball level. Some of these big national tournaments that you have, a lot of the same teams show up to it, and or at least the organizations do. So there's a lot of familiarity there. But I get the whole scouting report side of it at the college game. But I was just looking at it today about some of these teams that are able to hang in there with some of these. You could call them blue bloods. Some of these teams that have been powerhouses for the last decade, 2 decades, or whatever. Um, it's they're all around the same level, and that's why you see some of these mid-major programs that are able to do it, because the coaching tree, the same. They're trying to develop the same stuff. And at the end of the day, it's growing the game. And there are softball pockets, whether it's high school or travel ball, that are better than others. And maybe they're ahead of their time, or maybe they jumped out there and they got their feet wet going to these national level events and stuff. But I know, just traveling around recently, going to some of these national level tournaments, man, there is some incredible ball out there. And getting back to what Ryan's doing, what you're doing, giving these athletes somewhere to go. There's not like an end of the road anymore once you're done with college ball, and unless you're a unicorn and you get to go play on the national team and stuff like that. There's something that's there. I think the higher end of talented players, there's more of them, but I think that gap is closing. And so now everybody is trying to, what can we do at the 10U level? What can we do at the 12U level to go ahead and start implementing this high level IQ ball, where people talk about rec balls going away. No, it's still there. There's more people are willing to shell out more money to develop their kids earlier and make the sport better. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I do see a decline in rec ball. And here's here's the bottom line. When it's all said and done, I personally think, I think part of it is keeping up with the Joneses.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it is coaching aspect at every level, because there are great rec ball coaches. There are not so good rec ball coaches. There are great travel ball coaches and so on and so forth, all the way up to the college level, when it's all said and done. But I think, as you said, parents are more willing to invest in their child early on, and they're able to go ahead and start some of those private lessons there. You've got, girls that are 7, 8 years old starting to get into pitching lessons. So by the time they're 12 and they've been in that program for 3, 4, 5 years pitching already, those are your bracket ace pitchers at the youth travel level. What we see a lot of here in Fayetteville, to be honest, is a lot of our, and something I'm really proud about, a lot of our really good players in travel ball still play rec ball, because there is a all-star team for the spring season. So they go back in and they play rec ball because there's some meaning to that. There's a meaning to put on a Hardette County all-star jersey and try to go play for the state title.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Man, playing for your town, playing for your city, playing for your friends in the same classroom. I absolutely love that. Conway does that here, man. Buddy of mine, Michael Thompson, has been doing that. They've won it the last 2 or 3 years at the level that he's been coaching at. And it's cool to see what the community does.
It's so awesome to watch the community pour in, because, you and I are from the same era. And, school ball meant everything.
Mm-hmm.
Middle school ball, high school ball, like that meant everything. When you made your varsity level high school team, like, you were it, right? You had made it to the pinnacle to a certain extent. And to wear that name across your jersey, I wish we did more of that. I wish we, our travel organizations, I wish they were more community based. Mm-hmm. I know there's, the national elite level teams that fly 7, 8 girls in and throw them together and go play a tournament and do well. And there's a place and time for that. Right. But I would much rather see the local travel ball organizations, especially those that compete regionally, it be more like a school ball team. Like, I remember growing up playing baseball, and I played for my high school. And then in the summer, we just, flipped on a new jersey that, was very similar to my high school jersey, and it was still all the same kids. We went out and played the rival high school's summer league team. And that's how we got better, kind of deal. I wish we did more of that. Instead of, onesie twosie, oh, they play with this team, onesie twosie over here, oh, they play with that team. And then you try to throw them together for a high school season, and nobody's program runs the same. Nobody runs double cuts the same way. Nobody, signals are different. One philosophy on bunting is this. One, hitting philosophy is backside in right center gap. Another philosophy is dead pull. Let's hit home runs all day, kind of deal. And it takes time. It takes time to, like, pull them back together and make them into a team. And then you've got a whole nother coach's philosophy, that high school coach's philosophy. And it may or may not be similar to what they're used to. Right. My wife and I are going through that right now with our high school program. We get questions all the time, and I love the questions more than anything, of saying, hey, I want to run, a ball hit to the wall. I want to run a double cut under because of this, this, and this. Right. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, we do it for this reason right here. Or, hey, I like to have the third baseman as my cutoff for any ball hit, play going to the plate, any ball hit to left field or, left side of second base. Yeah. And they're like, what do you mean? Our shortstop cuts everything. I'm like, well, let me tell you why I believe that, in the reasoning and the foundation behind it. And this is in a lot of times when you do that, it's added respect for what you're doing. It's not like, oh, just do it because I told you to, kind of deal. but you're teaching, right? So now they have, at a minimum, they have 2 ways. So then when they go to the next level and they play for that college coach that may or may not believe in either one of those ways, now they go, okay, well, I've seen it done this way, I've seen it done that way. College coach might be one of those 2 ways, or it may be something else. Well, hey, guess what? We're getting to learn a whole nother thing now, kind of deal. So, yeah, it's interesting to say the least, in how rec ball sports has evolved into travel ball, now evolving into school ball, and like you said, some kids don't even play school ball because they play travel ball.
That's becoming more common now than it has been, and I know college coaches want them to play high school ball, but sometimes they feel like they don't want to. I do like the fact that it seems, at least to me around here, that college or high school coaches are more open to travel ball, and there's a few more high school coaches and middle school coaches that are getting into the travel ball a little bit. There's still that shut off where you have like no travel ball stuff during the season, and I 100% support that. I think there's no reason to play 5 days a week and then do it again on Saturday and Sunday and then 5 days a week. I mean, I think that's too much ball for these kids.
Yeah.
But I think the high school coaches are more accepting. Now, there are still some that absolutely despise the travel, and I get that side of it. I sit on the fence. I respect both opinions on how it is, but I think there's more exposure through travel. It's just not enough. There's not a whole lot of juice for the squeeze for these college coaches to go to high school games when they can go to a travel ball weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and be able to watch, 200 athletes, and maybe they have 7 or 8 that are identified. And while they're watching those that they've identified before, they may be able to see somebody else too. So I think it's more bang for their buck with that because of, whether it's their budget or whatever they have going on. I do wish the high school athletes would play their season, but some of them, there's conflict of interest sometimes, and I get that. And then you also have, with the travel ball, you got multi-sport athletes that maybe can only play so long. Maybe they do run track, maybe they do play volleyball and they play softball. And I want to get your opinion on that as well, as far as, we talk about multi-sport athletes are great, this and that. You as a high school coach, travel ball coach, and all that, where do you see these multi-sport athletes as we, continue to talk about how awesome it is for you to do that, and you should do that, but us as coaches aren't as lenient when it comes to missing practices, and you got to be at this game, and we got to fill our roster and that kind of stuff. Where do you sit on trying to manage a multi-sport athlete?
So I am 100% full proponent of multi-sport athlete. I grew up playing baseball, basketball, football. And I think it made me a better athlete. I won't say it made me a better baseball player or it made me a better football player, but it made me a better athlete.
Right.
And I think that's what it does more than anything, just because, basketball has certain movements that equate to softball or baseball, or football has a certain movement. The ability for a cornerback to drop their hips and turn is just like an outfielder.
Right.
Think about, now, granted, Deion Sanders is a freak athlete, but, his ability to be able to drop his hips, open up and go get a ball, whether that be a football or a baseball, it's the same motion.
Right.
For the majority piece of that. So to go back to your comment with regards to travel ball and school ball coaches, and to take it even a step further back to legacy. So I kind of equate legacy into a program. Like, how do you build a program that then in turn leaves a legacy? Everybody has to be on the same page. I want my kids playing travel ball. I want them to get the reps. I want my kids playing school ball. I want them to get the reps and build the relationships. Right. I want them doing those things, but what it comes down to is it takes a guy like me, or it takes a guy like you or Jim down the street who's a travel ball coach to pick up the phone and say, hey, Coach Smith at X high school, I'm Susie's travel ball coach. here are some of the things that we're doing. I'd love to send you a schedule of our travel ball schedule. Here's some of the things that I see with her at travel ball practice or during travel ball games or whatever it may be. What do you see? What do you see? And then you have a conversation as two coaches and you get the best for what is the player. Going back to, a third baseman is struggling glove side or backhand or whatever it may be, or she's struggling, at the plate, not being very disciplined. Hey, coach, I see the same thing at the high school level. What kind of plan can we put together and work through that together to make her the best hitter she can possibly be, or the best third baseman she can be, or the best catcher she can be, or whatever that may be. But it takes that. And I will tell you, the coaches at the school ball level that have the best programs, that have the legacies, that have the longevity of great players and great teams, are those that have the best relationships with the youth from the rec level all the way down to the travel ball organizations in their area, to their middle schools as well, that are going down there and having the conversations with their middle school coaches and saying, hey, here's what we're doing at the varsity level. Here's what we're doing at the JV level. So when your girls come up here in a year or 2 years or whatever it may be, they can expect this kind of deal. And I will tell you, the ones that are even better than that, the elite ones, they all run the same thing. They all have the same philosophy. They all do the same thing. Now, what I've seen, through my time, is that those in smaller areas that have like real tight knit communities, those are the ones that really probably do that the best, kind of deal. But the last thing that I'll say on it, as it pertains to players playing school ball, the number one thing as a college coach, or that I've listened to college coaches talk about, is that they want to know that the student athlete can be a student athlete.
Right.
So talking to that high school coach, okay, hey, how do they handle having a bad day at school? Because 90% of the time, 80% of the time, that coach is a teacher. They're there in the building, and they can tell if their player's having a bad day or not. They've made a bad grade on a test, or they missed a homework assignment, or X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
How did they handle practice that day? How did they perform in the game that day? That kind of thing right there, understanding the school load, the scholastic load that is associated with that, and then going to practice 4 or 5 days a week, because that's what they're going to do in college. Mm-hmm. They're not going to, go to school, then practice Tuesday and Thursday, and sometimes on Saturday, or, X, Y, and Z. They're going to go to school, whatever it may be. They may have an 8 a.m. class or an 11 o'clock class, but they're going to go to class a couple times that day, and then they're going to go to practice. And travel ball doesn't give you the same look that a high school varsity schedule would give you. And that's the one thing that I'll say to any player that asks for advice. Do I play travel ball? Do I play school ball? So on and so forth. And that is the one thing, and then let the player make the decision on it.
And you have that leadership aspect too, because you're going to have girls on that high school team that don't play travel ball for whatever reason. And
Mm-hmm.
you look into those other athletes, and you may just get thrown into that leadership role because, you do play travel, you do get reps, or you do have this, you do have that. And just somehow you're just by default, like, girls look up to you. So then you're in this role that you're not used to, because on your travel ball team, you're not that leader for whatever reason. And now here you are. And it happens, man. I see it all around. And, you'll wonder, like, man, where does this girl get this energy from? Because she's not like that at the travel ball practice or travel ball games and stuff. And I think just playing high school ball, it's good. And there's some different situations that kids have, but like you're saying, man, we got to see that you can handle that workload, getting up, going to school, and being able to process all that information and still go through your practices, get your reps in, do whatever you got to do after, managing your time, making sure you're getting your studying in, doing whatever recruiting that you have to do, whether you're sending out emails or you're putting together your highlight reels or whatever, there's a lot that goes into it. We got to see you be a student athlete. And I think that's the biggest thing. So,
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll give you a perfect example in the college league right now. The same young lady that I met with her parents, question she asked me, she said, "Hey, I think I'm going to have to take a summer school class while I'm there. Am I going to have enough time to be able to do that with the college schedule that you guys are doing?" And first and foremost, I said, absolutely. We're not having 4-hour practices every day and then going and playing a game or whatever it may be. But that just goes to show you there's an academic, scholastic load that is associated even in the summer.
yeah.
Think about I can't think of a single travel ball player that I have had that's had to ever take summer school and still play ball. Kind of. So that's I mean it. For what it's worth, that's my opinion. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love that guidance on that from what you guys are doing to let him know, like, hey, no, I get it. You have a schedule, and that is the most important thing at the end of the day. Softball aside, the most important thing is your academics and what you've got going on. And we'll do everything we can to make it work for you because that's why we're here. At the end of the day, us as leaders, whether it's local community leaders or, global leaders, we are here to better the people. And that's, why I do what I do with the podcast, man. I don't know how many listeners I got, and it grows. It seems to grow, and I get comments all the time. And I'll get a comment from some lady or some guy, and it's like, I haven't heard a podcast, and why are you still doing it? And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I've just been busy, but I know that there's an impact, at least one or two people. And if I don't post something on YouTube, it's like, what are you doing for your subscribers? And it's like, well, man, if you only knew. It's rough, but I mean that's the dad side of it for you. That's the human the side of it, and that just this caring. And I don't think the CPCL could be in better hands and than you and the type of person you are and the stuff that you and your wife are doing, not just for the CPCL, but the high school, the community, and stuff like that. Man, it's definitely I'm blessed and I'm honored to be able to sit here and have these conversations with you.
No, I appreciate that. Again, it's not about me. It's not about my wife by any means. We're not trying to puff our chest out and say, look at us kind of deal. We just want to be able to give back. I had some great opportunities, was blessed, have been blessed and continue to be blessed by the good man upstairs. And we just want to give back. That's all it is more than anything. We just want to be able to give back to the community, give back to the game. Because the game, I told my daughter this the other day. I said, one of the craziest things is, if you were to play college sports, it's what I've written my resume on for 25 years, probably more than 25 years at this point. That has always been a part of my resume. I'm a military officer. That's what I do. All that stuff's on there too. But down at the bottom, you will always find that I played collegiate sports on there. And that's something I'm very proud of. Not necessarily just to say I was a college athlete, but a lot of the stuff you learn later in life of the ability to manage time, the ability to be able to handle multiple things at one time is, that's where, again, the root, you can go back to the comment of the roots, right? The roots start there and then it just expands into the other opportunities that the game has blessed me with across the board. I know even we wanted to talk about the academies that are popping up out there.
Yeah.
Those, you want to talk about it as close to a college experience in high school. From all the research and the stuff that I've had conversations with, Ryan and I just had this conversation, as a matter of fact, as close to a college level experience, and to be able to understand if you can handle a load of a college athlete and student, that is probably as close as it gets right there. So you have to be self-motivated because the majority of the academic piece is online. So, you don't have a teacher that's standing up there in front of you for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. You do have some assistance through educators that those academies bring in to be able to assist you in your academic studies. But then, unlike at the high school level where we only have, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours a day to practice or to play a game, they're practicing 4, 5, 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking at more of a college level program, not to the 6 hour piece of it, but I mean, routinely those ladies are practicing 4 hours a day, plus their school load. But if you want to look at something that is as close to a college level experience, it's probably that piece of it.
Yeah, and I know those academies, they get knocked because it's sort of new. I mean, over the last few years, they've gained popularity, but man, it is a good fit for a lot of families because they do have that dream, whether it's D1 or whatever. That workload, and you teaching them at the 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade level, you're teaching them about themselves. You're helping them learn that, man, okay, I've got to buckle down. And then you're getting that athletic piece with it too. It's like, hey, I got to study, but I've also got to get my work in here. And it's preparing them. College athletes are coming into the game today better prepared to handle that workload. Now it's individual based, but it's not something that's new to them. And it's tough on these athletes coming in there, their first time away from mom and daddy. And you've got all this stuff, and they're not on top of you. They're not doing your laundry. They're not making sure you eat. They're not making sure you're studying or whatever. This is on you. So if you're getting it now where you're kind of getting helped a little bit by the parents and by the guidance counselors and this and that, it sort of prepares them more. And like you said, man, they're coming in to college with at least a little bit of a taste of it.
Well, I mean, just to give you an example of like a normal day at the college level, you're up 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, you're doing morning workouts,
Mhm.
right? You're in the gym, you're getting bigger, you're getting stronger, you're getting faster. Then you're going into your scholastic piece. If you've got some time in there between classes, maybe you're running down to that university. If they're blessed enough to have an indoor facility, maybe you're running down there for an hour, 30 minutes to get some hitting in or some fielding in, or you're watching game tape or whatever it may be. And then you're back to class again. And then you're back on the field that afternoon and you're practicing with your team for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours that day, depending on the contact time that's associated with the season that you're in.
Yeah.
And then right after that, you're right back into some type of study hall, more than likely, or you're on your own doing your homework, getting prepared for the next day's classes. And oh, by the way, if you've got any bumps and bruises at some point in time, you got to figure out when to meet with the trainer, when to go through your rehab, when the time to go through your preventive maintenance associated with your performance.
Yeah.
A lot of the colleges now have mental performance coaches as well, so you got to carve out time there too. And a lot of these academies are really doing it the right way. And with my wife being an educator, the way the education system is moving now, the ability to be able to tailor some of that academic curriculum
Mhm.
in a setting like that to provide these kids like the things that they're going to need to be successful as they continue to grow and mature in life starts to happen,
Yeah.
um, is an incredible opportunity, if you're blessed with that opportunity to be able to do something like that. Again, I go back to in the softball world, I think we've got some work to do to give them a dream, to be able to give them something after college to work for. Baseball, these academies are big in baseball because there is that dream of the professional route that they can go. So, as baseball continue, or excuse me, as softball continues to mature, I think you're going to see a number of academies pop up that are softball focused, and you're going to see that here in the next, probably 2 to 3 to 5 years as the professional game matures.
I think that it's inevitable. It's coming, and I right now, man, it can seem overwhelming to some parents and even some athletes. You got that keeping up with the Joneses thing, like I've got to go and I got to do this. And in a lot of ways, that's sort of how life is. I mean, everything kind of goes, with the majority. And unfortunately, travel ball has sort of done that to rec ball in all the sports. But
Mm.
that's just sort of how life is. And these academies, they're coming, and the more that are successful, it's going to breed more to come. And I think if it's done right, if they're run right, like you're talking about, I think it's only going to benefit us as a society. Sports teaches a lot of things, and sports teaches time management. And both of us being military guys, man, time management is life saving. I mean, it could be it could be deadly if you don't have very good time management skills. So yeah,
100%.
I'm all about it. I don't really know sort of as much as you do about the way the future is shaping out for these young athletes as far as a professional game is concerned. I'm excited for it, nervous for it. But I know at some point these college athletes and these semi-pro, if you want to call them that, there's going to be more opportunities to play the game professionally, and I think it's just going to continue to grow. With guys like yourself. So, man, I appreciate you joining me again for another episode. I do want to have you back on. We're going to get into it. Hopefully, we can share a little bit more about the progress with the league, the summer league. And man, you got any final words for this one?
No, just continue to stay tuned on the social media piece for the college league. Start making your plans now. Rosters are starting to fill up every day as players decide what they're going to do for the summer. Super easy to register, like we talked about earlier. CPatriotCL.com. Click on the register button there. You fill out a simple form. We review it and then get back to you within 24 hours. Pushing you additional information to come into the league there. And we're going to start posting some pictures of, the playing surface, the playing facility that we're going to be at this summer. Additionally, we're going to show some pictures of the indoor facility that you'll have the opportunity to continue your development in and work out in. The housing is coming with some pictures as well. So there's a lot of great stuff coming. But if you're looking to play summer ball or continue to do that, get your registration in now, and we can answer any questions or talk about anything that you may have questions on for the summer league.
So awesome, man. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I'm going to be up there. I am going to make sure that my summer schedule for my team is sort of catered a little bit around some part of your schedule, so I can get my athletes up there just to take part in, just to be around it, be a part of it if they want to. And of course, me personally, I'll be up there taking some time. You're not too far from me, about an hour and a half. So I can definitely make some trips up there back and forth. But man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for you. I appreciate you joining me again for this. And it's just, man, it is so cool to be able to talk to you about this stuff, man.
No, I love it. Thanks again. I appreciate all the support that you guys are doing for us, and look forward to the continued conversation and having you up in our neck of the woods here soon.
Yes, sir. We'll have you on again here in the next couple of weeks.